Good morning, everyone. Today's video is going to be on setting up a toothed belt system. I'm going to leave the camera fixed and I'll move around so I don't move the camera and make you seasick. When we first started looking into one of these for our car, I tried to find a good tutorial online with some information and cost and pros and cons and the faults and foibles of dealing with the system, and I really couldn't find anything. What I found was several little 20-30 second videos of somebody's engine going rah, 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 and that didn't help me at all. So I thought I would make a tutorial, and we get a lot of questions about this system and just kind of review what it's like dealing with one of these rascals. The first thing we need to talk about is the elephant in the room, and we need to talk about that preferably with your wife not present, and that's this. These are not cheap things. You can buy one of these systems off eBay for $129, certainly. My advice to you would be to take that money and buy lottery tickets. You'll have the same chance of success. You will. So just a rundown on cost. Good quality manufactured pieces from Miller Speed, Black Horse, one of these really good manufacturers. Your 3 pulleys, your drive pulley, water pump pulley, alternator pulley, is going to run $300 to $350. Then you need a good quality alternator bracket. The one you have, the lightweight bendable steel brackets, those sort of things, they will not work for this. And then you need a good quality belt. Let me show you what won't work here. These steel brackets that you can bend into shape, really, if you horse the bolt down enough, they will bend and flex, and you'll drive yourself crazy trying to get this aligned with that. Like I say, when you get a good quality system, your water pump, your drive pulley are going to be dead on, I can guarantee you. This third leg is all on you, brother. So get a decent alternator bracket. The other thing not to cheap out on is a belt. Don't get a cheap quality belt. This is what we use as Best Torque 8mm belt. Very durable, tough, lasts a long time. A couple of things to look for with your alternator bracket when you start investigating this. You have to have a fan. Some of these brackets will eliminate your fan in here, and that will do you no good. So make sure it can accommodate either your existing fan or a neat aftermarket fan like this one. A couple of things other to keep your eye on. Your main strut that supports your alternator, you want that at least 1/2 inch thick CNC aluminum. Anything less than 1/2 inch thick is going to flex and give you grief. There's 2 mounting styles: pillow block style, which is a solid block that goes directly to your engine block via 2 long set screws, or 2 steel tubes. The one that you want is the solid block style. Now, one caution in using either of those: check the flange on your cast iron where this mounts to your block. If there's any little burrs or imperfections, gouges and scrapes from previous bolts being in there, anything like that will throw the alignment of this pillow block off, and then your vertical axis will be off and you'll have grief. The essential difficulty in lining this up, and why it takes so much time, you have to be so careful. You're dealing with 3 axes here. You're dealing with a vertical axis like this, horizontal axis like this, and then forward and back. You put all 3 of those together and you have a real chore. It'll drive you crazy. First thing you want to make for yourself is get a steel rule, put masking tape on one edge of it, and then you've got a great visual tool for lining your pulleys up by just holding you straight edge to edge on all the pulleys. And that is essential. Do not rely on your eye. Your eye will fool you just like looking at a Las Vegas showgirl. Use this straight edge. Another trick that we do, we dim the lights in here and put a trouble light on the floor, which shines up here, and we can see any little imperfection in that. And that'll give you your good alignment. Once you think you're well aligned, next question is, how tight should your belt be? That depends on your tooth engagement, and it goes like this. Your minimum engagement that you want is 12 to 13 teeth. We engage here, we come apart and go off the pulley right here. We're at 14 teeth. You want minimum of 12 to 13, so we're pretty close to the minimum. As a result of that, we need to run this belt a little tighter than some applications. We couldn't get up any higher than that because when we started putting this together, we need this alternator nestled down here in the frame rail because this car has a full hood on it. So we had two complications. One, we're really tight on the minimum tooth engagement on the pulley, and secondly, the back brace that came with our alternator bracket was not long enough. So we had to fabricate this out of 1/2 inch stock. So given that tight belt, we put a straight edge on here, and you can see we run about a 1/2 inch deflection on the belt. The more teeth you have engaged on your drive pulley in here, the looser you can run your belt. The looser you run your belt, less horsepower it takes to drive it. Once you have that all aligned with your straight edge and so forth, here's how we test it for sure. Now, before you do this, I want to caution you, disable your ignition so your engine will not start. Don't put this together. Visually, you think everything's fine, and then rah, 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 start your engine. You'll throw this belt off. A V-belt will go off and not really cause a lot of mischief. One of these guys will cut a radiator hose, fuel lines, get into your radiator and damage it. Just don't do that. So we pull this rascal forward until it's off the front edge of the pulley. So we know it's out of alignment. Then let's go around, turn the engine over. Hold on. I guess I need to hook the battery up. Okay, that should work better with the battery hooked up. Now, look and see, did it correct itself and go back to the center of the pulley? Yes, it did. It went, we knew we were off the front edge. It tracked back right into the center of the pulley. Next, do just the reverse. Pushing back off the back edge of the pulley, so again, it's out of alignment. Rotate the engine. Check it, see if it corrected itself, and it did. Came back to the center of the pulley. So that's your quick overview of it. Question gets asked, can you run this with an air conditioner, this kind of a system? Some people have tried it. It's not very successful due to the complexity of the clutch on the front end of the air conditioning compressor. So this is primarily for a normal aspirated engine with your water pump, drive pulley, and your alternator. So there's your quick overview. Now, what you have to do is ask yourself, do you need one of these systems? The answer to that is probably not. And then the second question is, do you want one of these systems? Oh, yeah, you do. Have a good day, guys.